Oh, thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Outside the Shop with me, your host, Daryl D. Lane, where I get to talk about everything that I normally don't get a chance to talk about in my regular sports podcast, Barbershop Sports Talk, which will air on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, all your podcasting apps and platforms you can definitely find me on. The podcast that I released today, I had Kenny Simon, scouting expert for 247 Sports, and we dived into and recapped and break down everything that happened for Week 16 of NFL action. So definitely check that out. It's posted. It's out there. Had a lot of great conversation and a lot of good football and NFL talk as we move towards the playoffs. So first, here's what I want to say. The Packers, they are a dangerous team. The Green Bay Packers are going to be problems. 40-14 win against the Tennessee Titans. Just an undressing, a domination. They have the mixture of a team that can go to the Super Bowl. And here's why. First, they get out to such quick leads. Every time Green Bay plays, they're up like 20-0. Easy. They're playing Titans. Up 20-0. Easy. Not only that, they have the pass rushers. They have the corners. They have a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers who's at the peak of his powers, playing as well as anybody in the league. They can run the ball. Like, Green Bay has everything you need. They have all the recipes you would need to win a Super Bowl. And here's the thing. Green Bay is likely going to get the number one overall seed. The number one overall seed, home field advantage in the NFC, is going to go through Lambeau Field. Look at these teams. Who's coming to Lambeau Field and beating them? Is it the Saints? Drew Brees isn't known for playing well on the road, right? The Seahawks, Russell Wilson, you think they're going to go in and do it? The Rams, with Jared Goff? That LA team, you think they're going to go into Lambeau? The Buccaneers? I know the Buccaneers beat the Packers, but another warm-weather team. Like the NFC East, whoever wins that division? No. I can't imagine any of these teams going into Lambeau and beat the Packers. And also, they're going to have the best QB head coach combination. Maybe besides, I'll give an edge to Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll. That's the only one that comes close. And you want to know what happened last time Seattle went to Lambeau to play a playoff game? You want to know what happened? Green Bay was up like 25-3, and then Seattle and Russell Wilson, they did some magic and kind of came back at the end. The only time Green Bay lost last year in the playoffs was to San Francisco, on the road. One of the most complete teams in the NFL last year. Green Bay is dangerous. And with that, so NFL MVP, Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes. Well, let me just read you this with Aaron Rodgers' stats. So 44 touchdowns, number one in the NFL, leading all quarterbacks, fifth in passing yards, has an 119.4 passer rating, which is number one, a 70.3 completion percentage, which is number two, and 32 touchdowns to 0 interceptions in the red zone, which is amazing, by the way. 5 interceptions overall on the year, and a 12-3 record. But here's why I would go with Patrick Mahomes. Not only do I think Patrick Mahomes is just a better player, reigning Super Bowl MVP, reigning Super Bowl champion. He's second in touchdown passes in the NFL, 6 in picks, second in QBR. He's asked to do more than Aaron Rodgers. He's thrown the ball about 588 times, so basically 600, all the way to Aaron Rodgers' 502. So he's thrown the ball basically 100 more times than Aaron Rodgers. He's asked to do more on a regular basis than Aaron Rodgers. I know you can argue he's better off in talent, but he's asked to do more. He's asked to throw the ball more. They put the ball in his hands more. While the Green Bay Packers have been dominating teams out here, the Chiefs, they can be lackluster. They have all these close games, and Patrick Mahomes always delivers. He always comes up clutch. Always. Always. You look at, they play the Atlanta Falcons. He throws a would-be interception to A.J. Terrell, cornerback for the Falcons. Drops it. You know what he does? He goes right back and throws a dart. Touchdown. End of game. And he doesn't have bad games. Let's remember this. Aaron Rodgers got blown out by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That happened. On Fox. On the afternoon. Like week 4, week 5 of the NFL season. That happened. No variance with Patrick Mahomes. The same, just consistently dominant. So that's why Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, should be MVP. Now I want to go to this. Bills versus Patriots. We got this out here. Bills Mafia, baby. Monday Night Football against the New England Patriots. How crazy is this for you Bills fans out here? Could you imagine? We're at week 16 of the season. The Bills and Patriots are playing. The Bills are the team that's already clinched an AFC East title. That's the second seed in the conference. And the Patriots are the team that's eliminated. Who would have thought? Look how the world has changed. We're moving up in the world. We keep going up and up and up and higher and higher and higher. I'm really looking forward to this game. My keys and what I'm really looking for, We need to dominate the Patriots. This is kind of a precursor to the Patriots. They're a decent team, right? They're an 8-8-ish type of team. Like, we need to dominate them. Like, because, in my opinion, these are the games that when you start to grow your team, when you're starting to peak at the right time. So I think this is a foreshadowing maybe for the playoff games to come, us putting it on New England. So that's really what I want to see. I want to see Josh come out, Stephon Diggs come out. I want to see that defense come out with Trey White and everybody. And I want to see us put New England on their place on ESPN, on national TV at 8:15. That's what I want to see. So I'm hoping that will happen. So Jacksonville Jaguars clinched the number 1 overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, and that means Trevor Lawrence time. Trevor Lawrence, who from quarterback from Clemson, is unanimously considered the number 1 overall prospect in the class. I'm going to go with the Jaguars are probably going to take Trevor Lawrence. And here's what's going to be interesting. Does a coach like Urban Meyer, and there's been reports about Urban Meyer, does a coach like Urban Meyer say, I'm going to go to Jacksonville to coach Trevor Lawrence? I know what Trevor Lawrence can do. Reports are now that this is potentially one of the hottest jobs in the NFL, right? You have Jacksonville. It's warm weather, maybe not the greatest fan base, but you're going to have Trevor Lawrence there. One of the best quarterback prospects. We're talking about comparison to Andrew Luck, a John Elway, those type of guys. That's how special Trevor Lawrence is. So I think that's great for any coach. I think it's also interesting that Urban Meyer was linked to it. I think it makes Urban Meyer a little curious, just a little curious. And by the way, Adam Schefter reported that as well. And speaking of Trevor Lawrence, when he comes into the league, look what Justin Herbert did, who, by the way, passed Baker Mayfield for the most receiving touchdowns, most passing touchdowns in NFL history by a rookie quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is twice as good as Justin Herbert. If Justin Herbert's being as dynamic as he is right now, what do you think Trevor Lawrence is going to do when he gets in the league? What do you think Trevor Lawrence is going to do? Trevor Lawrence is going to dominate. The Jags are lucky. They're going to have a franchise savior at the quarterback position. Now, what I want to get to. So, Dabo Swinney and Ohio State. More conflicts, more shots fired. You hate to see it. He says, Texas A&M, Florida, Oklahoma, and Cincinnati, they got punished for playing more games, trying to say that Ohio State should not have been in the playoffs. Saying that Ohio State should not have been in the playoffs. Dabo, you got to stop. You got to chill, bro. Texas A&M. I argue for A&M for a bit. Right? Maybe we can do that game with A&M. Florida, they have 3 freaking losses. Cincinnati, I love Cincinnati. We know who the real team in Ohio is. Oklahoma got blown up by Iowa State. You know what Ohio State would do to Oklahoma? They would victimize them. In all reality, Ohio State is the 3rd best team. I think we can all say that. It's 1 Alabama, it's 2 Clemson, it's 3 Ohio State, and 4 or 5 we can kind of debate about the A&M Notre Dame thing, right? And I get why Dabo's doing this. The ACC, the SEC, and the Big 12 kind of paved the way, and now the Big Ten's riding off their coattails, and they got into the conference championship game. But it happens. It happens. In Ohio State, they are worthy, they are deserving, they are elite. And that's why they're in. So Clippers on Sunday, they got blown out by the Dallas Mavericks. 51 points. It's embarrassing to get blown out by 51 points in an NBA game. In any professional sports, when you get blown out by 51 points, like that's JV, high school type stuff. It should not be happening. It's disappointing. Also disappointing because Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers' best player, did not play, which is another issue altogether. So it kind of seems, same old Clippers, not taking the regular season too seriously. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to Jordan Nwora. He played for Louisville, scored 7 points against the Golden State Warriors on Christmas Day. Also had a rebound as well. I want to give him a shout out because I went to pre-K with the kid. I went to elementary school with him. I went to middle school, and I went to part of high school with him. So shout out to Jordan Nwora. I love when I see people from Amherst doing great stuff on the national stage. I'm like, I knew that guy. I went to Windermere with that guy. I went to Amherst Middle School with the guy. I played football and modified with this kid. And look what he's doing. So just props out to Jordan Nwora and his family. That's really cool. And by the way, I hope everybody had a happy and blessed Christmas. Hope you had a great time with your family and friends. I sure did. It helps us, appreciate the little things. I know it's a little bit different because of COVID and everything that's going on, but I hope it was fun and safe for all of you nonetheless. And also, like I said, if you want to check out the podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all your podcasting platforms. So definitely check that out. I'll be posting this video to YouTube, so definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll be doing that in a couple of minutes. And thank you, everybody, for tuning into this episode of Outside the Shop. Go Bills! We're going to show the Patriots, and God bless.